All right, let's talk about something that affects every single one of us. Why do we get sick? It can feel so random, right? But what if I told you there's actually a surprising logic behind it all? I mean, we have all been there. You're completely knocked out, stuck in bed with a fever, while the person sitting right next to you at work is totally fine. Is it just a roll of the dice? Just plain bad luck? Or is there something else going on here?
Well, the answer is it's not random at all. Getting sick is actually a pretty predictable outcome. The best way to think about it is like a recipe. You combine the right ingredients and the right amounts, and you get a specific result every time. Illness, it works the exact same way.
And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. This master formula that really governs when and why our bodies get sick. It's actually surprisingly simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Okay, here it is, the sickness formula. It's got 3 essential ingredients. First, you need a trigger. That's some kind of stressor from the outside. Second, you need a vulnerability. That's a weakness on the inside. And third, you need enough exposure. Basically, enough time for that trigger to actually do some damage. You need all 3. Take just one of those away, and the whole formula just falls apart. So let's dive into that first ingredient. What exactly are these triggers? Well, think of them as the external forces that kick the whole process off. They're the spark that lights the fuse. The most common triggers, and the ones we usually think of, are these microscopic invaders. You know them as pathogens. And their entire mission in life is to get inside our bodies and just multiply like crazy. And these guys come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? We're talking about viruses that literally hijack your cells, bacteria that pump out toxins, and even fungi and parasites. They all make us sick in one of 2 ways, either by damaging our tissues directly or by provoking such a massive overreaction from our own bodies.
But here's the thing. Triggers aren't just living germs. The world around us is absolutely full of non-infectious stressors that can also pave the way for getting sick.
We're talking about things like air pollution, physical injuries from an accident, or even something like chronic, unrelenting stress. These things can be powerful triggers. They wear down our cells and weaken our systems in a totally different way, but the end result can be just the same. Okay, so we've got a trigger, but a trigger by itself usually isn't enough. It needs an opening. And that brings us to the second part of our formula, vulnerability. The best way to picture this is to think of your body as a fortress. Vulnerabilities, they're just the cracks in the walls. And these vulnerabilities, they really fall into 2 main buckets. On one side, you have things you can't really control, right? Like your genetics, how old you are, or big hormonal shifts. But then you have the lifestyle factors, how you sleep, what you eat, how much you move. And these are the cracks in the fortress that we actually have the power to repair. So a trigger has found a crack in the wall. What happens next? Well, this is where a truly fascinating and complex battle kicks off right inside of you. First, the trigger gets in. Instantly, your body's general alarm system goes off. That's your innate response. We're talking inflammation, maybe a fever. Then, the special forces arrive, the adaptive response. This is where your T cells and B cells create highly specific weapons called antibodies. And the result of this epic battle determines the final outcome, either a full recovery or sometimes a chronic disease. And this is a really crucial point. Feeling sick, the fever, the cough, the aches, is often a sign that things are going right. That fever isn't the virus, it's your body cranking up the heat to create a hostile environment for the virus. That cough isn't the bacteria, it's your body trying to physically throw it out. Your symptoms are basically signs of a healthy fight. So now we can finally connect all the dots and go all the way back to that first question. Why does your deskmate stay healthy while you get the flu? It all comes down to the unique mix of ingredients in the formula for each individual person. This table just shows it perfectly. Take hay fever. The trigger, pollen, is totally harmless to most of us. The vulnerability is an overreactive immune system that freaks out. For type 2 diabetes, the trigger might be a high-calorie diet, but the key vulnerability is often a genetic predisposition. And for a stomach ulcer, yeah, the H. pylori bacteria is the trigger, but it needs a weakened stomach lining to really do its damage. See? Different formulas, different illnesses. And this is where things get really empowering. Because while we can't always avoid the triggers out there, we have a huge amount of control over our vulnerabilities. These are the levers we can pull to patch up our fortress and completely change the outcome of the formula. Let's start with a big one. This number right here, 7 to 9.
That's the golden window for the hours of quality sleep you need every night for a rock-solid immune system. Honestly, think of it as non-negotiable maintenance work for your body's fortress.
Here's another powerhouse number for you, 150. That is the recommended number of minutes of moderate exercise you should aim for each week. It might sound like a lot, but that breaks down to just over 20 minutes a day. It's so key for keeping your immune cells sharp and on patrol.
And here are the other major levers you can pull. Getting vaccinated is like giving your immune system the enemy's battle plans in advance. Eating well provides the raw materials your defenses need to be built. Simple things like washing your hands reduces your exposure. And, yep, managing stress and staying social helps regulate the hormones that can weaken your defenses. Every single one of these is a way to rewrite that sickness formula in your favor.
So remember this, getting sick isn't just something that happens to you. It's an equation, and you can influence that equation. So looking at the formula, trigger, vulnerability, and exposure. What's one small change you can make, just one lever you can pull, starting today to strengthen your own defenses?